on DAB, smartphone app, and around the world on starpointradio.com. Your real alternative. Starpoint Radio.
Whoa, yeah, Georgie B.
Georgie B is in the house.
Wow, singer, songwriter, producer, DJ, family man, dog lover.
Oh. Mr. Lover.
Signed to Polydor, then MCA, managed by Robbie Vincent, supported Maze. Well, that's it done. That's the interview done.
That's it done. Bye.
Welcome to Starpoint Radio, Georgie B.
Thank you so much for making me feel so welcome. It's great. It's great. In fact, I think it might be the first proper full-on interview I've done with Starpoint. I've done a few little thanks for when I hit the number one spot type of thing, but I think you're the first.
And the last, and you're everything.
I was going to say I'm popping my cherry with Gary, but no, perhaps not.
So let's start at the beginning, shall we? Good place to start. So let's go back to 1981.
Yes.
Second Image. Wow, you even went on the Rod Hull and Emu show.
We did, and it actually started earlier than that. It started in '79, and that's when we went in and did a demo. Young Georgie B, I think about 17, them kind of ages, and did a demo. And really, it was my brother, who was about 18 months older than me, that was leading the way in those days. But we thought we'd do a demo, and we'll take it to see if we can get Robbie Vincent to play it. And so we did this demo, and we rung up the radio station and said, what time does Robbie normally come around, And he said, he normally comes about 2 hours before his show. He likes to do this and that, the car park, and we went there to meet him. Now, that would be called stalking now. They would never go. And we literally just, the poor man, shall I say, we ambushed him and said, look, gave him a cassette and look, this is our thing. And he was very, very polite, so polite. And we thought, we went home. He said, he's going to play it. We rang the whole band. He's going to play it. We didn't know in those days they wouldn't play cassettes. It was either reel-to-reel or vinyl. And we listened to the show. He didn't play it. And we was very upset. And then I got a phone call and picked up the phone. And said, hi, this is Robbie Vincent, and I won't say what expletives I used because I thought it was Weston just mucking about. He was very good with voices, Weston, and and I just thought it was him mucking about, and I really gave it to him, and he said, no, this actually is Robbie Vincent, and you saw me in the car park, and he said a couple of things that I hadn't passed on.
Yeah.
Oh, right, and literally, Gary, within 3 weeks, maybe 4 tops, we were signed to Polydor.
Fantastic. If it moves, funk it. Yeah.
If it moves, funk it. So listen, I'm a humble guy. People, if you don't know me, I'll try my best to help everyone. I do think you get more out of collaboration, and even though we were talented, Gary, you do need an element of luck as well. And we made our own luck because obviously we went down there, we paid for the demo, and we went there and we put it in his hands. But if we didn't do that, we wouldn't have got the deal. It doesn't matter how talented we were, you do need that little bit of sprinkling of pixie dust luck as well.
Freddie Starr, was he a big key member in your history of the group?
Keep seeing stuff. Freddie Starr show. What can I say? We couldn't get any TV, Gary. Couldn't get any TV. We're talking about a time when it was Mungo Jerry and Slade, Mark Bolan, and those sort of times. And Polydor didn't really know what to do with us. There was no dance departments in those days. And in dance in those days, it really meant it's solely a disco. It didn't mean dance as they mean it now. So they didn't know what to do with us. So the Freddie Starr show was kind of like a talent show, and they didn't mind as long as you hadn't been on Top of the Pops, or didn't care if you had a record company. And we got ourselves on there, and we won it. And from that point on, everything changed because we got ourselves then on mainstream TV. We always believe if you get to see us, if you get to see what we can do, then it's a game changer. So we didn't want to go on the Freddie Starr show because we were a proper working band, but we did it, and it really paid off. It was a gamble, Gary. It was a gamble.
And you did well, and you supported Maze, didn't you? That was good.
We did. 2 years with Maze, and the lovely story with that, Gary, is when we first in 1982. when we supported them at the Hammersmith Odeon, we got on so well with the band and with Frankie Beverly in particular, that when they came back in 1983, they asked for Second Image, and they didn't. They said, no, they're not supporting. I still have the picture. It's a wonderful picture, iconic picture, in fact,
Nice.
with us all standing in front of the Hammersmith Odeon. It says, Maze, featuring Frankie Beverly, with guests, Second Image.
How brilliant is
And
that?
so 2 years, and he shared his changing room. I mean, our first year, our changing room, I think it had some twiglets and some luncheon meat.
Luncheon meat. That was a different kind of spam, wasn't it?
Do you remember luncheon meat? Oh my goodness! Second year with him, we had like a big hog on a roast, and it was like something out of King Arthur. No twiglets and luncheon meat on the second year.
So then, I suppose you disbanded, and you did your own. You had a long gap before you did your own thing.
Yes. Now, this is something that nobody knows. You ready?
Yep. Secrets. Come on, secrets.
I know you know this particular incident. We don't know the story behind it. In the old days, when American acts came over, or any acts came over from another country and wanted to get on top and got on top of the pops, let's say, and they were due to go on top of the pops, the Musicians Union was so strong, and they would not let those bands use their own music. They had to re-record them to go on top of the pops. So every time you saw something on top of the pops and it was an American artist, that had to be re-recorded. And we were just very good at that. We were the Second Image were the band that they used to re-record everybody's stuff on top of the pops.
Oh wow!
And we did that for years. And I'm talking about our brass section on even Terran Called Malice with the Jam. Obviously they were a UK band, but they used our brass section. I mean, Polydor I was going to use a different word, but they sourced us out. So we did this and we did that, but we got to meet a lot of different musicians, and that's how we got to meet Pink Winkfield, who wrote I'm 80 with a bullet.
Yeah.
Ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. Well, he co-produced some of the tracks on our first album, Love Turns Me Upside Down and All Been Said and Done. And that's how we got to meet him. But yes, all the acts that you saw on top of the pops, I would estimate between 70 to 80% of them were really Second Image playing.
So you met Pan's People and Zoo and all those
Pan's people.
Frankie
Great
Johnson.
age to meet Pan's People. Fantastic. Just great time. So that's what I was doing, a lot of that session stuff. And then the Womacs came up, and I ended up being in Womack and Womack's band for 2 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. If you saw Womack and Womack in the late 80s when they came over here, and I remember with Cecil, they didn't really do any touring before that because it was Love Wars that was their big hit over here.
Yeah.
That was the first one. So then any tour after that was the big tours, and that was me. In that band was Wes from Second Image, Simon from Second Image. It was again Second Image. You were listening to these bands. So when people say, Georgie, the stuff you're bringing out is so consistent, and you're playing all the instruments and you this, that, and it's because I've had such a musical schooling from a young sort of 16, 17-year-old moving forward. It's just been fabulous, and I would do it all again, Gary, even though we earned nothing. Actually, I'll tell that. In MCA, our second stint, we were 4 years with Polydor and 4 years with MCA. We made a little bit of money with MCA. At Polydor, we made nothing. But I still do it again. It's made me the musician and the person that I am now, because if you take a lot of knocks in life and you still keep going, it makes you a better person, and you can pass it down to your children and teach them that not everything is going to go your way. It doesn't, Gary. It doesn't. You know that it doesn't go your way all the time.
So how did you earn money if you weren't earning?
Just session work here and there, and just we just didn't have any money. And I tell you when it got really bad, it was at the end of Polydor, and I thought, I'm going to have to sign on. I'm in this big band, and I'm going to have to sign on. And then luckily, we got the deal with MCA, and they gave us a nice juicy signing on advance. And you know, we made a little bit of money with MCA. I won't lie, not ridiculous, but money enough to live. And but literally, it would have been either me signing on or me saying, "Would you like me to max your meal, sir?"
And it's worse these days than those days.
It is even worse now. Now it's not, "Would you like to max your meal?" You're actually, I don't know, you're farming. You're out there picking berries and stuff. You know, it's very, very difficult. But the knocks that I took to get myself successful are the things that make me who I am today.
Oh, that's a nice story. And Don't You was your biggest record for MCA, wasn't it?
It certainly was. That was. In the old days, you had Black Echoes magazine, you had Blues and Soul, you had, you know, the various Melody Maker.
It was a newspaper, first of all, wasn't it? Echoes.
Yes, it was. It was, and it was Black Echoes. I've still got them here. I've still got them here. The ones with Second Image. I'm a bit of a hoarder, so all the magazines and anything with Second Image. You know, they dropped the Black quite a few years ago, but it was Black Echoes for a good 12, 13, maybe even 15 years as I was growing up.
I remember buying the first issue, strangely enough. I think it had Billy Paul or The Real Things.
It was Billy Paul, actually, yes. So, you know, we were in the Blues and Soul chart forever, number one. And the thing about Don't You, it was such a iconic and different song. Nothing sounds like Don't You, even today. And that's what I liked about Second Image. And I want to also say something. Second Image had 3 lead singers, Georgie Bromfield was only one of them. You had Weston Foster, and you had Frank Burke. And we just divvied up the songs and we loved it all. There was no animosity. We just did what we had to do. But I was more the front man. I was the guy as well, that if something went wrong on stage, Georgie will just put Georgie out front and he'll keep him distracted while we're restringing the third, you know, the E string on the bass guitar because it's gone, you know. So I was always the front man, but there was definitely 3 lead singers.
I think I remember doing a bit of that robot dancing, wasn't it? Wasn't it you in one of the videos?
Yes, we did the dance, and I won't even lie, it was the songs were great as well, but when we did the dancing at that time, it also helped us in that Freddie Starr show as well, because I didn't see anything like it. They filmed it in Harrogate. I've never been to Harrogate before, but when we went, I think it was about 82, 83 maybe, tops. I went to Harrogate. It was like, oh my goodness, it was a sight to be seen. They never seen anything like us before, and you know, we were predominantly a black band, but then we had some multiracial people, and I mean, Frank had ginger hair and freckles. I mean, we were walking there like, what is going on? But when we performed, they took us to their heart, and that almost became our little love nest and the secondary home at Harrogate, because they really took us to their heart.
I think you all had little moustaches as well.
We all had the Tom Selleck.
I looked at your website and I thought,
Caterpillar.
Wow, you've all got moustaches, all exactly the same little moustaches.
Moustaches and afros, Gary. Moustaches and afros. You know, your fro was everything. So if you couldn't have your fro, it wasn't good. But no, they were great days. Don't You was a fantastic single.
So we move on to Groove Association.
Yes.
It was a difficult start, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, and to go before the Phoenix rose from the flames, it all started for me, Georgie B, when we were asked to do the 30-year celebration of Brit Funk at the O2. And on that night, there was Second Image, there was Light the World, Junior Giscombe, Incognito, David Joseph. I mean, it just went on and on. There's so many, Lee John. Just a great night, and every British soul, stroke, jazz, funk bands. And I pulled myself out of the business for a bit and went down the professional world. We didn't know where we wanted to do it, but we said if we're going to do it, we want it to be all 7 of the original members, or we're not going to do it. And we managed to get everybody, and because we didn't want to be like, oh yeah, Wixie Second Image, and we saw one guy, but then everyone else looked about 12. You know, you get it all the time. Oh, come on, and you find out now he used to live next door to the guy that used to be in it. He had a dog, and oh, come on, they're not the real people. So So when you saw us at that night, it was the 7 members, the most recognisable 7 members of Second Image. And sadly, I think that's going to be the last time, because in 2016, Mark Fisher, our keyboard player, passed away of cancer. And who would have known that would probably be the last time we ever see Second Image in their entirety together. It's very sad.
Never know what's ahead of you. So Let's Break the Ice was your first album as a group association. And I think that had a little bit of magic. I mean, this is why you're one of the most respected independent soul men, I suppose is the word. You release music under your own belt. You fund it yourself. That is your living. It's your full-time job. You do nothing else. You don't sign on. Although you probably would like to.
Mill, sir.
Well, you probably would like to. And your living depends on people buying your music from your website. You don't believe in streaming, do you?
Nope. I studied my demographic. I saw what was going on long before people have seen it. And I'm not saying I'm some sort of prophet. I just looked at the evidence and I examined the data in front of me, Gary. And I thought, this is for an independent artist. This is crash and burn zone. Yeah. This model is not for independent artists. This is going to kill us. And I was shouting on my soapbox, and no one was really listening at that point. And it's not their fault, because iTunes and that packaged everything up so beautifully. It just looked like it was great for us. But no, I do it 100% myself. And when I did finish that gig, I found that I had some fire left in my belly, and I said, I'm going to do this. But before I did anything, Gary, I studied the demographics of what was going on. And then when I realized, if I don't sell it independently, then, I might as well forget it, because the fractions of a penny that they're paying independent artists, I mean, fractions is, and then every time I see someone, I say, look, you have to sell, if I want to get £1 of my single, I got to stream 1,000. Which is,
people don't understand that. And they
to get £1.
They brag about, I've got 50,000 streams, but how much is that?
Absolutely nothing. Here's your £5. Here you go. It's £4.50. It's a Happy Meal. You can't even buy a Happy Meal. I mean, it's just absolutely criminal. If I launched this platform now, Georgie B's platform, come on, musicians, they'll be locking me up for some sort of Ponzi scheme. Come on, Georgie, off you go. Into the clink, mate. You think you're going to get away with that. But somehow they've got away with it.
Nigel Lowe's just put a comment. Go on, Georgie, tell it like it is. You're very well respected.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks. It is. And you know what the funny thing is? I don't say it with animosity or hate in my heart, because they're business people and their business model is working for them.
Yeah.
So I've always said to people, I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just saying, if I was a baker and I'm baking my lovely Chelsea buns, my lovely whatever, donuts, I'm just not going to sell it in the iTunes shop
or not give it away.
Or the Amazon shop. Exactly. I'm good, and that's what we're talking about here. Your product, you should be able to decide what store sells your product. And you should be able to set your own price for your product.
That's right.
But you just can't do it. You put it on a streaming site and it just gets streamed to death. And, you saw the thing I put the other day. You've got Amazon now giving you 4 months free. 4 months for 99 pence. So someone could go and join Amazon, give Amazon 99p with no further commitment, and for 4 months, let's say I was on streaming sites, they could listen and stream everything I've ever done for 4 months. And at the end of 4 months, after they've streamed me to death, do you think they're going to buy anything?
I think you're just giving Amazon a good bit of advertising there.
If they want to do this, it is. I'm a firm believer of, everyone I know has practically got that letter. I'm a firm believer is again, I'm not trying to change the world. I'm not trying to say, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work for this type of artist, for my type of artist. We have to educate people that if you want good music, please be prepared to pay for it. And no one's getting rich. We're not saying, my album's going to cost £80. We're talking about someone who spent a good part of 12 months of their life, solitary confinement in the studio, and you release an album and they stream it to death and they give you £1.50.
Well, you work very hard, and I know you work many, many hours on your music. Deborah Bell, Wes. In fact, you've worked for years with Wes, haven't you? We've only had one single, I think, but you've worked for years with him. We're still waiting for the rest of it.
Oh, no, we're doing an album with Wes at the moment, but Wes hasn't really got my expediency. I'm trying to be kind here, Wes. I'm trying to be kind. But we're going to get there. Some beautiful stuff, but we will get there. I think it's going to be a one-album deal with Wes, but we will get there. And Deborah, I just love Deborah. She's my band wife. She's not my real wife. She's my band wife, and she's someone that left the business, and I coaxed back in. And it would have been a loss to the soul music business, because not only she's a great vocalist, but she's a great person. Really, really good person. Gives time for everyone. And that's why I give my time. A lot of people don't know this. I give my time for Deborah for free. So all the production and the hours I spend in the studio, I mean, I'm literally hours on, firstly writing the song, producing the song, singing. On Love Won't Pay the Rent, every single voice other than the lead vocal and every single instrument is me. But I do that for free for Deborah because she deserves it, and she's always been on hand to help me when I need vocals on my Groove Association projects. And I don't forget, so I always give back. You
always do all the girly bits as well, don't you?
I do all the girly bits because I can get up there, I can go, Lord won't pay the rent. I can get up there, you see. Deborah's, just piece me off, Georgie, pees me off. Does all the falsetto stuff, and then he goes, that's what I want you to sing. But no, I love her to bits, really do. And Gary, yes, before we move on, now I'm going to embarrass Gary a little bit now.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Well done.
He doesn't like to beat his own drum. But the other day I found an email dated 2011. In fact, I think it was March 2011. And it was Gary, you.
What?
Yes, you. You'd heard Let's Break the Ice, someone play it, and you dropped me an email asking me if there's anything you could do to help regarding promote it or help it, and that was 2011. So I'm a firm believer again. I'm getting lots of traction across the pond as well now. But I don't forget who was there and who was trying to help me when I was that salmon swimming up with my little gills and my little fins. And, and there was a few people that helped me at that time and was aware of what I was doing. And you are one of them. And I know you don't like to beat your old drum, but you are one of them. So I want to thank you for at least reaching out. We couldn't get anything going at the time, but it does give me encouragement. So when people call me up and say, look, I've heard your song, I really like it, it just gives you that, it could be that one day when you think, that's it, I'm over. McDonald's, come on.
No,
and it's just that one day.
You love it. You love what you do. You might be a wild salmon, but you love what you do.
So little fins.
So on your website, you've got available CDs, you've got vinyl, 7-inch vinyl, and downloads. And you were married, weren't you? I'm joking with you.
My long-suffering wife, Joanna. Love you, darling. Long-suffering wife, because she's a bit of a studio video when I get in the studio. But no, look, anyone that goes to my website is georgiebmusic.com. Very easy. I don't call it Bromfield because everyone puts 2 O's in it, and it turns out to be Broomfield, and they say, I can't get on your website. So it's georgiebmusic.com. And if you want to buy a CD, and you buy a CD, I give you the digital version for free. So you immediately get it on your device for free, the digital version, and then I'll send you a signed CD after. So remember that, everyone. Anyone that buys a CD on my platform will immediately get the digital version of the album for free.
That's it about the physical stuff. You can always sign them. You can't sign MP3s, can you?
No, you can't sign them, and you don't know who produced it, who done the backing, who did the guitars on this. You know, the real collectors love something in their hand, be it CD or vinyl. They do like something in their hand. And it's all about the website. Please visit, and not just me, all the independent artists out there right now. Please, if you do want to buy something, preferably something physical, please buy it from their websites, because they're all struggling. We're all struggling. We all are. I had a long conversation with Shayla again yesterday, obviously talking with Deborah all the time. You know, you've got a lot of artists out there that are just, you don't realise they're struggling because of what's going on with the trend and the way the music is marketed and presented to the public. And if the public is used to getting things for nothing, they can begrudge paying for it. So we're here in our demographic, and we got to show them that, listen, if there is music and you like that music, just give back. If it's a tenner, give them back a tenner, because I'm telling you now, independent artists spend thousands bringing you the music, and the tenner, all it does is just keeps us doing what we're doing.
So tell us about the new album. So it's a remix of your previous album, but it's completely reworked, isn't it, from the
It
bottom
most definitely
upwards.
is. Any fans and supporters of Georgie B now worked out what I do. I release an album, and the album is always an album of singles. I don't do filler songs. If they, to get past my gate is very hard. So if it's a good song, it makes it on the album. Then the following year, to the day, I completely remix that album and release it again. So I release it around Christmas. The following Christmas, which is now, I released a remix version of that album. And then the following year is a brand new album. So it goes album, remix version, album, remix version. And this particular year, at the end of 2019, is the remixed. It's remix time and reworked. And let me tell you, if you loved More and More, you are going to absolutely love More and More remixed. I've reworked some of the tracks, and I know that you've played some of them. Thank you very much. And other DJs have played, and it's getting a lot of good traction. It's gone straight in the UK Soul Chart, and just the love that I'm getting. Everyone's understanding what I'm doing now. Fans, supporters, DJs, and artists alike. And all I can say is, long may it continue. I've set up so many artists now on their own websites, and I'll give any of my time I can to, I've made some mistakes that have gone along. So when artists ask me how to do it, I'll make sure they don't make those mistakes. But please, GeorgieBmusic.com. Have a little shufti through my stuff. The latest is the new More and More album remix. It's on fire. But not just me. Please search your other independent artists as well.
Thank you, Georgie. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Having a little chin wag with you, Gary. It's all good.
And thanks for joining us on the show. We're going to play some Second Image. We're going to play some Georgie B to the top of the hour. And we've even found a little old jingle you did for us as well. So we're going to play that as well.
Well, I've been doing a few more. So I've got something quite nice you can have a good chuckle at. I just want to thank all of the fans and all the supporters out there for getting behind my music. I want to thank everyone behind Carl and everyone behind the UK Soul Charts for looking at what I'm doing and placing it in the charts from the support. And I want to thank you for giving me the time from 2011 till now.
This is Starpoint Radio.